This is the 4K 60 frames per second Action 1 action camera. Today we're gonna go over some footage inside and outdoors. We're gonna go through the setup of the camera. There is no input for a auxiliary port for your audio recording, but there is a USB Type-C. It's got a touch video. You can see how easy a selfie screen on the front. It's got 4K recording. So we're gonna go and look at this camera. And at the end, I'm going to tell you how I believe this compares with the GoPro 360 Axis and DJI cameras. Stay tuned for the whole video. This is the 4K 60 frames per second action camera. 4K 60 frames per second underwater. Now, unlike the Hero 360s or Osmos, this particular one still has a casing that you have to put on if you want to go underwater. In terms of going underwater, it goes quite far. It's a pretty transparent case of buttons on top here, all the ones that are required. This also has a Wi-Fi option and 2 screens, one at the very front. So if you're doing a blogging type of a video, then you're gonna see yourself here. And then on the back here, you have a larger screen. And there are 2 batteries. Besides the 2 batteries, you also have an accessories box. And just like almost every action camera, you're gonna get mounting systems for your bike, belt, and an additional skeleton case. So you can go and put the camera in here, then you can mount this on the tripod here, or part of like your additional, maybe some sort of a get-up that you have. You also have a little remote, and you have a tether as well. It's got a very nice look to it. I definitely dig the two-tone, this little red detail. It's an auto-adjusting lens. On the very top, you have your OK power button. So there's an arrow down. This one acts as an arrow up, and there's also an M for mode. Let's turn on the camera. We hold the button for 3 seconds. Then you get this little welcome. It'd be nice if it was just kind of like some sort of an animated GIF, like the girl was swimming across, but it's okay. But what if I want to do a selfie mode? Well, I simply press and hold the M button for 2 seconds. And then that is going to turn on the selfie mode. So now I can go and do whatever I want to do. The problem is, well, there's no problem, but this one is not touchscreen. So hopefully you have set your proper resolution. There's a little tripod mount. The battery compartment is right there. You get 2 batteries. There's a pull tab just like any other action camera. Let's take a look at the battery. It is a rechargeable lithium battery, 3.7 volts, 1050 milliamp. So these batteries usually last in the very beginning about 42 minutes. With time, they're going to downgrade to about 36, 7 over a year. But you get 2, and you can very easily buy these on Amazon. We've got a 60 gigabyte card in here. You can see this little icon there. That's your image stabilization. You can turn on or off the microphone. So it's on. You can see that it's fully charged. Your zoom is plus and minus. So we can go and zoom in all the way to 5x. You can see right there. On the very bottom, you have your settings. So first you got your video resolution, right? We're on 1080p 30. Now, one thing that I don't like is that I wish it was 120 frames per second at 1080p. You only have a max of 60. 2.7K, you've got 360, you got 60 frames per second, which is great. And 4K, you do get to use 4K 60, but you see how it's disabled? That's because you have to disable your image stabilization. Let's go into our settings. So image rotation, almost never use. Your light frequency 50 by default. Angle, wide, narrow, middle. So we're gonna go to wide angle. Now to navigate the screen, you can also go up and down and then press OK to enter the menu, right? So let's go in here, wide angle, we're good. Now press this to exit, right? Let's zoom that out to nothing. So let's go and look at the footage at this point. All right, guys, so this is the very first time using this Action 1 camera. This is it right here. There is no input for a auxiliary port for your audio recording, but there is a USB Type-C. This is right now 9 in the morning. My kid is enjoying watching his own video. Right here, there's Amy, right? What do you think? Now we're gonna go straight up to see how quickly it adjusts to the blue sky, and down again, and then up again. And those are like somewhat faded leaves, and then these are orange leaves. All right, so these are just B-roll shots. Now I'm going to show you our wide angle. So this is your Monopoly. And so on my phone, I'm seeing from here to here. So we're basically going to put our finger here. This is the beginning of our finger. Now, if I put this right beside, you can see that I also see my finger. So the wide angle is as good as my phone. However, my phone has the additional option of further zooming out, which this does not. So after your video resolution, you've got your EIS, that's your electronic image stabilization. And again, you can turn this on or off. Again, if you disable this, you have the additional video resolution of 4K 60. All right, so this is a setting for whether you're in a sunny, cloudy day, you have incandescent lights, fluorescent lights. We're gonna set to auto. We're not like gonna be setting any photographic settings, to be honest with you guys. All right, let's exit out of. Let's go and change the filter to say negative, go back, and then we take a picture. And then I'm gonna go black and white, which is also nice. And then we take a picture of black and white. Okay, press play to review your videos or images. Very easy, you can switch between these, see that? And then we can, of course, delete these at will as well. Switch back to your video. You can see how easily I'm switching between these. These are the videos that I recorded. And then again, we'll just go back to our shooting screen. Let's go and press mode again. You got your slow video. By default, it slows it down to 2x. Let's see what we get in here. And then all you're really getting, oh, there you go, 4x. Oh, I did not know about this particular setting. Okay, so I guess you do 4x slow video. So I guess it's just a setting. Let me just test this out here. We're gonna put this and I'm gonna jump up in the air. Loop video. So this is loop video. So you have all the way to 5 minutes. Time lapse. These cameras are absolutely great for time lapses. So by default, I would say do 4K simply because you can crop in better when you're doing a time lapse. So, and you can zoom in, so which means you can zoom out and you're gonna be rendering out likely in 1080p. So if you do, then you can crop in and slowly zoom in on the time lapse, which is a very cool effect. So let's say we do 4K, recording interval. So every second is gonna take a picture, or all the way to 60. So we're doing rentals or whatnot, you can definitely set it up to 60 seconds, for example, if you're gonna be working for an hour. Or you can do video length. So say I want this to be a 10-second video, and then so you're gonna go with that, basically press record. Let's keep going. You got your normal photos. In normal photo, by default, you have 30 megapixels, which is more than enough, to be honest. These cameras are not usually used as a photography tool. You got your flight frequencies, again, your angles, wide, middle, narrow. You got your LED indicator light if you don't want people to know you're recording. Auto screensaver, right? It's on 1 minute, by the way. Let's do 30 seconds. And you got your automatic shutdown. So meaning if you not press record or anything like that, the camera is going to shut off automatically in 3 minutes to preserve your battery life. And you can set these all the way to 10 minutes. You also have your button tone settings. So I can just lower it. You got a shutter sound so people don't hear if you take a picture. Audio reduction. I want to put that on. Power on off sound, dive mode. So if you're putting this underwater, you definitely want to go open. It's just going to do something different to the lens. And then language, time format, and time settings. So you set basically what time it is right now. Then you got your auto timer. Again, I never use these settings. Burst photos. So this takes basically 3 pictures a second or 5 pictures a second. So this is great if somebody's jumping, you're doing some sort of an action shot. And then again, you got your filters, you got your EV and ISO settings with this as well. The name of the app is Subcom Pro, which you can download on Apple or Google Store. After installing, open the app. It will ask you for some permission, tap confirm. Once you're in the app, tap scan QR code. Now on your camera, go to your Wi-Fi setting. It will show you a QR code, so scan that QR code with your phone within the app. The app will automatically add the device. Now you can view the camera's live footage directly on your phone. You can also now record videos, take pictures, enable loop recording, time-lapse recording, and other modes from the app. So that's how easy it is to connect the camera for the mobile app. It's pretty simple and great for all those shots that you don't want to hold your camera and you want to at a distance and still control the camera. All right, so at the end of the day, there's only one real question. How does this camera compare to the 2025, 2024 smartphone cameras or the 360 DJIs and Hero cameras? And I'm going to tell you that it really does not compare very well. To me, this camera is more of like a budget-friendly camera that you want to take on your vacation. Maybe you want to bring it on a roller coaster, or when you're going gliding, something really adventurous that you want to film, but you don't want to risk losing your really, really expensive camera like I've lost. In terms of the features, it's got all the features that you want. The only reason that I'm not really too keen in suggesting this is on par with all the expensive cameras is because, of course, of the price. But on the same note, it's the smoothness of the video. The electronic image stabilization is actually not bad. The audio is not bad. All stuff like that can be fixed in post-production or with absolutely any app, including the one that this comes with. I do like the screens, the touch, the user interface, the app. The lens is nice and wide, although it could be a little better, but for the price, it's actually not bad. So all in all, again, this is a budget-friendly camera that you want to take on a vacation. Just think of it as a spare GoPro, in my opinion. So that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one.